Thanks for taking the time to kind of do a little interview about our experience working together. Can you introduce yourself to everybody, kind of tell you who you are, what's your specialty?
Yeah, sounds good. Well, I'm Warren Thompson. I started a digital agency called Olametrics. We do Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, but what we really specialize in is Google Analytics and helping customers connect the dots from basically from the ad click right to purchase. So I started the agency about 2.5 years ago with a partner of mine, Charles, who Jesse knows and has also been on our calls. But before that, my background was I wasn't an entrepreneur. First business that I had started, and I was a marketing director, and I just worked in marketing and client side. So first agency experience, and also first business experience for me to start Olametrics, and it's pretty amazing to see what's happened. So
cool, awesome. So what warning signs kind of appeared in your business that told you that you needed our services?
The warning signs, I'd say so I had previous experience building a team and leading a team and working on building systems. But it's, I think it was just the rate of the demand and that was on us, that we realized that we needed to, we needed someone that could help us get it faster, and we needed to outsource some more experience and deep experience into building systems, because that's really what it comes down. Like, our whole business model is like expertise in systems, and those will help us be more efficient with our time, help us get better results for the clients. And so, yeah, we started to kind of see we're hitting certain bottlenecks. Things are taking too much of my time personally, harder to delegate. We had one employee at the time. And then I think that was one of the catalysts, is that we had one employee, we were looking to hire a second. And then we realized, okay, now that we're expanding the team, things can't all just live in our head anymore. So.
Awesome. And then what problems did we solve for you?
Well, first off, just having someone to talk to every week was really great. Jesse, you're very good at problem solving. Whatever kind of problems I threw at you, you're eager to jump in and get to the root cause and come up with some sort of framework. But the big ones for us was building processes and systems to pull stuff out of mine and Charles's heads, and then also be more consistent between the two of us, because we're both pretty different. He's kind of left brain, I'm right brain, I guess, and so the building SOPs, charting that path out, having a process for training and developing people. And then even just looking at our whole kind of sales process and our packaging of services, and how do we trim some fat off. That, and I'd already done a lot of work on goal setting and time, like structuring my day and 80-20 analysis of my time and effort, and the 4-hour work week kind of stuff. But it was still refreshing to kind of see the new approach and then apply that and see and still find areas. For example, we found one client that I was spending so many hours with compared to all the other clients, and really try to diagnose some of those issues so that we could come up with a solution for it.
What would have happened if we failed to deliver?
Well, if you failed to deliver, Jesse, we probably still wouldn't be working together. But I think that goes without saying. Usually, when you're working with a partner or anyone, everyone's kind of got a pulse on if the relationship is a net positive or a negative. Mm-hmm. So that's probably would have been the inevitable result, is just kind of part ways, But we're still here, so working. Yeah.
Straight into the point. Yep. So where did you start in your search for a solution?
So I had actually done, I looked at a couple local networking groups. There's one called BNI, I think they're all around North America. And it was good in a sense. I think there's good people there, but it didn't make sense for me. It wasn't specifically related to agencies, and so I felt like the problems that they were solving were different problems than I needed to solve. Even though I thought that the people were great and the little community was, the way that it works is definitely a net positive for everyone that's there. So I kind of had to look outside, just outside the regular, okay, here's the local networking group. I even went to a business coach he was hosting groups. And again, same thing there. Like there was things that I thought were valuable, and then other things that I was like, this is also not for me. And that's totally fine. But that's when I kept the search going online to try to find, see if I could connect with someone that was outside of my local area. And then that's where I met you and saw like, okay, I feel like this guy is exactly into the things that I need to figure out. And so just totally made sense.
Cool. And what made us kind of stand out from other options out there?
So at first, it was just the first impression actually wasn't the standout, other than the fact that I knew that you were focused on agencies. But it was when we started working together, and I could tell that you were very focused on systems and processes, and less on like I'd say focus on systems thinking and thinking about everything that you build. How can we build this into a system that can be reproducible by someone else? How can we identify the bottlenecks and make sure there's no single points of failure? And thinking about it as the business as a system, like when everyone thinks about McDonald's and how consistent it is from location to location. And I think that's the path that we wanted. I know that not every agency owner wants that, because sometimes they want control themselves and they want to be the person that is creating all of the work that goes out. But in the end, that's not really scalable. And so what we wanted instead was to create an agency that we could remove ourselves from, and that where we could train and coach and grow people. And so, obviously I still like getting in and doing the work. Charles still likes getting in and doing the work. It's just, we're hoping to have a different relationship with it going forward. And so that's why you guys stood out.
Cool. What obstacle, if any, almost prevented you from buying or working with us?
I think there's always there's cost, right? So there's a time cost and a monetary cost. The time cost is a very real one, because especially when you're getting busier, and let's say you hire someone and you have to now train that person and then do your own job, and then how do you have time to do all this? So the time one is I think it's a real one that was it was also a negative, I thought, of the BNI situation, because it was every single week. It was like 3 hours almost or like 2.5 hours every morning, and I was like, that is just it's not going to work for me. So I thought that it was good that the time that we did have together could be just a 1 hour Zoom call every week, where we're just touching base, and then we get to kind of work on everything on our own time. And also that the first step was to free up time, which totally made sense. The other is money, and it just comes down to investment of whether you think it's the right time for you or not. Maybe money is very tight, and the investment might feel like it doesn't make sense right now. And I think that's fine for certain people, but if you know that you have a goal and you want to get there, let's say in a year, we want to be doing this much revenue, and you can see or at least feel the roadblocks, or not know the path forward, then you're basically buying expertise to get there quicker, make less mistakes, and so it's definitely a trade-off. It's an investment. So yeah.
Do you think, I'm going off the cuff here, do you think that I've saved you some time getting to where you want to go?
Definitely, yeah, and also made us maybe a better, I would say a better man, like leader, I guess, of the organization,
Mm-hmm.
like a better employer, manager, leader, all that. And because I did have experience building a team and hiring people for about 6 years, but
Mm-hmm.
it's different when you're the boss and then versus being the manager, right? And even though I was the director, so their growth was still dependent on me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have that experience, that's a whole different ballgame than being someone that's managing a project with multiple people on it, but you're not directly in charge of their career growth.
Mm-hmm.
But even as an employer, it's kind of just take an extra step up, but because it's also costing you money at every single
Mm-hmm.
step. So I think those systems are very important, and you don't want to lose those key people just because you didn't have a proper plan for their career development.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that was a really big one for us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of working together, career planning and career development wasn't really a main focus because you only had one employee. What can you talk a little bit about the transformation that's happened going from the one employee to where you are right now, and what does that look and feel like as an agency owner now?
Yeah, so one employee to hiring the wrong employee and then firing the employee, which is it is what it is. You never get it right, especially when you're hiring remotely. It's always harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then building the team to now 8 employees. One's on maternity leave, so I guess maybe 7 active employees, and then about 5 or 6 contractors that we're working with regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think it was definitely critical through, especially a couple of those key moments when we were like, okay, do we hire one person? Do we hire 2? Why? What are the upsides, downsides? How do we, like what are all the different strategies that we can use to try to be the most efficient and try to onboard these people the right way? Like, so we went from no onboarding and training program to having proper development maps for employees that we're hiring. Also creating like an onboarding course, an administration course and stuff, because we're doing everything remotely. So we're building all of these systems for training. We're trying to make things like modular so they can they can work in multiple ways. And I think it's just a completely different way to think about hiring and training people. And it's a system like everything else, right? So, and that's something that from what I've heard, all of the employees have been extremely thankful for. And they understand that it's still a work in progress. So they're helping to kind of build that ship with us. But since we're doing it, then they're on board and they feel like they can contribute versus, having someone shadow you with no idea what they're doing for the first 3 weeks and then just hoping that it works out. It's not a game plan.
Piggybacking on that, how long did it used to take, like when you were hiring your first employees, like even the one that didn't really work out, thinking about how long it took for them to get independent and you can dish them work out and then they're able to do it, as opposed to now, what can you talk a little bit about the difference between those now? I mean, you didn't have a course before, now you have a course. You were thinking about systems
building more. Okay, so to paraphrase the question a little bit, basically the time that took to get our first employee independent, and she was really strong, but this was new to her. I tried to outsource it by giving her as many external course materials and stuff as possible, but it still took at least 6 to 9 months for independence of a lot of tasks, and then I'm talking like strong employee, like one of the top ones that I ever hired out of 25. And then with the newer employees, so we've got a couple that have been with us for 3 months. They're independent in the majority of those tasks, and actually I would say all and more. And then a couple that started with us just over a month ago. and they are already independent in a lot of the, say, administration portion, and then they're kind of practicing in the account management portion for right now, because they're going to be account managers. But it's completely expedited, and so and plus I didn't have to do it every single time. The course is there, and then the training programs are there, and the knowledge base and everything else that we've kind of developed. And so it's it's pretty amazing, and they can learn from each other too, which is it's also very helpful. But it's probably cut the time in half, I'd say.
Cool. Sorry about the motorcycle that just rode by. Well, cool. What like, going back to the question, so what features kind of sold you on our service?
I think I just liked the very I thought that you had a very logical way that you structured your training. So where you started with now I'm like, okay, I have to look at it again to remember. But I think it was with focusing on the individual first, and then focusing on the systems, or bringing in more. I think bringing in more leads or capacity. Actually, can't remember. Maybe it was the individual, the systems, and then bringing in the capacity, and then growing with people systems.
Yep.
Something along those lines. But I was like, that is very well thought out. And there is a that's the kind of connecting the pieces in that logical flow is made me aware that, okay, this guy's thought about this problem before many times, and he knows the proper steps to get there. Versus sometimes you've got this, and we deal with the same thing with clients with digital marketing. They see 100 different things that they know that they need to fix, and a lot of things that they don't know that they need to fix, but they are just overwhelmed. They're like, I don't know where to start, right? And so it's good to, that's where we come in usually, and help to show people, okay, here's where we can start. Here's how we, here's the process for all of this, and then having specific systems and resources along the way. And that's exactly how I felt with your offering.
Cool. And then what has exceeded your expectations since working with us?
Whenever we go off, like I'd say off the script, and then we've got like a very specific problem that we have to solve, and we just bring it to you, and maybe it's something that we have to riff on a little bit, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it. And so I think that's good that it's still it's not like let's say you buy an online course, right? You're getting that course. That's it. You're getting the course. You're not getting a customized package. So what I found with and there's, because I've looked at a lot of other agency build an agency programs and build a better agency, like there's hundreds, is that they're all delivering a framework that worked for someone, that when enough people copy that exact framework, then you're all going to kind of look the same. So you're in a way you're getting access to quick systems and stuff, but it's in other ways I think it makes you look more like everyone else. So the key, I guess, for us was where I like it is when we look at what everyone else is doing, we try to say, okay, that's good. What can we learn from that? How can we be different? And then that often takes us off the script, off the regular system, or something along those lines. And maybe we can borrow some principles, but we're able to still solution something together. So that's definitely a big help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that in the agency space a lot, where it's hard to differentiate because a lot of them will take the systems that worked for them and hand it off to somebody else. And then unfortunately, that's kind of like a trade-off. As a business owner, you're taking on somebody else's systems. It's not yours. And then you're kind of throwing it in the market where, like you said, the more people use it, the more it starts looking the same, and actually results are not, what is being sold. So what has that done for your business, where it wasn't the templated business system program and it was custom to you? Can you talk a little bit about, why you wanted that, and then what has it actually done for you?
Yeah, well, so one of the things when we repackaged our services, like the first we were doing kind of a monthly retainer program, and then we kind of broke it out and did with new clients, we do like a discovery call, and then we do a 1 week digital opportunities analysis, or digital ops analysis for short. But it's kind of a 1 week sprint where we're doing this diagnosis for new clients. That's something that we saw every other agency is doing an SEO audit, and we're like, okay, we're not doing an SEO audit. So we wanted to do something new, and the feedback on that was people can say yes to it very easily. And so where I was getting crickets before, after sending people a proposal, now we're getting a chance to start working with them. And even though it's a loss leader, it works for us. And then the feedback was, this is something that there's a few things that you guys have gone through that I've never been aware of, and that I haven't seen from from many other agencies, and even from very experienced clients that have been working with agencies for a decade. And so that was a really good first sign. And then the fact that they're signing up as a client after is also a good sign. But and then we packaged on the back end of that a 90-day accelerator, so that we don't get someone to, hey, you just had a first date, do you want to get married? But it's, hey, first date, now we can go out for 3 months, and then after that maybe we can talk about continued relationship. And so that repackaging of the way that we offer and position our services has been an absolute game changer. So we've the growth from one employee to 7, and then I think it was about maybe 2 contractors to 6 along with that. So team of 3 to I don't know the math right off the top of my head, but 13 or 14 or something has obviously come with a big revenue increase, and while maintaining a similar profitability. So it's been a wild year. Let's just say that.
Quite a journey, and I'm sure that your role has changed a lot over the. Was it 9 months? We worked together 9 months.
Yeah. I think it's around there, 9 months. Cool. So completely different agency than it was a year ago. So
cool. Yeah. Gotta throw a curveball in here. What can we do better in the future?
I think so. For me, I'm a visual learner, and so oftentimes your mind works in different ways than me, which is a good thing. Definitely a good thing, and that's what I appreciate. But I think when I look at systems and want to understand systems, I think I need to see it visually, and so I think that's something that can always be. I think it could be a useful tool to help translate. Sure. It's like, how do we take whatever this system is with mission control and think about it and try to map it out in a way that can be maybe a useful visual tool, and then also maybe an exercise, a bit more of a visual exercise. I think that would help.
Yeah, even mapping out the strategy as opposed to doing it in modules, but also having it as a visual. Like, these are the certain milestones you have to have.
Totally.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, that's just how my mind works, and so I really like those. Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else you'd like to comment on about our service or your experience?
I think just keep doing what you're doing. I think, like, as you work with more and more agencies, and you already comment on this all the time, and business owners, you see so many similarities, right? And so it's I think the one thing is, like, the agency space is always evolving. So the leaving a little bit of having a certain amount of the service where it's like, hey, these are the ways to build systems for your business. These are the ways to develop people. These are the ways to free up time. And but I think there always needs to be a certain portion of that, which is that since the market's always shifting, there needs to be a certain amount of that is going to be custom, where it allows people to build it themselves and then kind of ideate their own creative ways to stand out against their competition. And just because I think there's 100,000 digital agencies. Actually, this was a post-COVID stat, so I don't know if it's grown or shrunk, but it was 100,000 digital agencies in North America or the world, I forget. So it's all about positioning and how you stand out to your competitors, and I think that needs to be that needs to be something that comes from the owner, and so that they can incorporate the system, they can use it to make their vision into more of a repeatable process and a system, but they still need to hold on to why they are meaningfully different than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keeping differentiation, not doing that templated business system, and making sure that
Exactly.
as they grow and as they scale, they don't burn out, and they're also not losing their sense of identity in it, which ultimately the main goal of an entrepreneur is freedom, and a business should not be something that is chaining them down to a particular role or thing that they didn't design. So,
agreed. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Warren, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate sharing your story, and I look forward to continuing to scale your business.
Awesome. Thank you.